All right. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning.
All right. Guess what?
What?
I had a dream about this podcast last night.
What was it?
I can't tell you the details really, but we were recording the
Because
podcast
it's confidential or why?
No, because I can't remember. I should have written down more details right when I woke up.
Yeah.
But we were filming in front of like a live studio audience, and there were people like reacting to it and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of a premonition.
Was that a vision? Was that a vision that you had? Not just a dream?
We're going to go on tour at some point. That's
Piper's philosophy. I don't know where she heard it, but often she's given me some facts. And when I go to check them, they're actually true. Her philosophy is if you have a dream that you remember, it's a message. If you have a dream and you're like, I know I had weird dreams last night, but I don't know what it is, then that's nothing. But if you actually recall the dream, so who knows?
And you fact checked that. You fact checked Piper.
I did not fact check that comment of hers, but I have fact checked other things.
Okay.
And she's been correct. And I'm like, I don't know.
So speaking of Piper, I saw she was in the hospital last week. Is everything okay?
Well, okay. So do you remember when she purchased crutches?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So what happened was we were at a friend's house last weekend. She did a little tumble off of a bar stool and bumped into the bar that you set your feet on. It's metal. And so during the friend's party, she cried enough that she asked to go home. So it was a little injury on her ankle. And then I just thought, this kid is looking for an excuse to use her crutches. Like, she is actually so committed to having some sort of need to use the crutches that she's using this injury. And so that was Sunday. Sunday night, she's like limping around using the crutches at home. Monday morning, she's getting ready for school and she's got the crutches in tow, ready to go. And
wow.
I'm like, you can't. You go up and down flights of stairs to your classroom. Like, it's such a distraction. Please do not take the crutches to school. I'm like begging her, please just, I'm thinking it's all a ruse. Like, she's just milking it so that she can actually take the crutches to school. And I convince her to leave the crutches at home. I tell her, you can have the nurse call me if it's really bothering you and I will take you to the doctor. And so sure enough, the nurse calls me like middle of the day. And she goes, I just want to give you a heads up. Piper was in here complaining about her ankle. I gave her some ice. And I'm like, gosh, dang it. Because here's the thing that you, if you ever become a father, will experience. You don't know 50% of the time whether your kids have broken something or they're faking it. Like, that goes for broken, sickness, other things. Like, you're just like, I can't tell, because they will fool you. They are incredible actors and they can trick you really, really well. So I often think my children are faking it. And I'm like, there's no way. But I had this thought of, what if it is actually hurt? And I am like that mean mom who's like, you're going to walk just fine. And it's been broken for a month. So I ended up taking her to an urgent care. And the sweetest doctor comes in, gets on her knees, talks to Piper about the injury. And she's just like, I am so sorry this happened to you. And I'm a little bit like, ma'am, can you just, can you not? You're feeding into the problem. And they did an x-ray and there was nothing wrong. They did say it is definitely swollen. And so she was like, what we could do is get a brace or a boot. And as soon as she said a boot, Piper was like, yes, I need a boot.
Oh my gosh.
You don't need a boot. You need some therapy is what you might need. But no, and so anyways, we laid off of it for, the next week. She never took her crutches to school. And it was fine, but I'm just like, I don't know. This child, I feel like it's not the first ER visit we've had with her. It will not be the last. And she's just fine. She's going to make it. So.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just her and your family that is going through it.
I know. Speaking of injuries.
Yeah. How are you doing?
My body is injured. Not well, Austin. I'm not. My friend texts me. She's like, how are you doing physically and mentally? I'm like, I feel unwell in both areas, to be honest. Yeah. I know we were chatting a little bit beforehand. Like, do we disclose I tested positive for COVID.
It's this weird taboo thing nowadays. I
It's
was
so weird.
saying, Tara downstairs, she asked if you were coming in today, and I said, no, I think she has COVID. And then as soon as it came out of my mouth, I'm like, should I not have said that? Like, is that
I
a
know.
secret thing? Is that
Well,
something you're not supposed to share about people? And I don't know.
exactly.
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know either. And I actually felt really conflicted because I had, kids over this week. I had friends over this week. And I, told them when I tested positive, like, hey, just a heads up. And my one friend was like, I wish you hadn't tested and I wish you hadn't told me. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. Like, I just feel like, and another friend was like, it's like it's a cold that we have a test for.
Yeah.
And so, and the thing is, it's like, everybody's like, oh yeah, it's just a little head cold. It's not, it's fine. I'm like, not to my body. My body is like, this is an absolute enemy and I need to fight it with everything I've got. So it definitely knocked me down this weekend. And, like I was saying before we started recording, I was like, this is the first time I'm having a conversation over a few minutes with anybody in like 48 hours. That's not via text. So, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I feel like it's 2023 COVID. It's not 2020 COVID. And maybe that's a different thing. But I also know like a lot of people in my friend circle have it. Some people are like, you can just be, as soon as you're symptom free, you come back to reality. I don't even know what's the protocol now. Like, I don't even know what we're supposed to do. Like, do I just stay home until I sound like myself? I don't know.
Yeah, it's this weird season where it's like it's definitely resurging. Like, I know a lot of people who have tested positive for COVID lately, and it's like I don't know. It's weird that like there's if you have the flu or if you have a cold, like that's not something you really get a test for. But if you have COVID, it is, and it's I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to navigate it. I don't know like if Brian had a coworker that tested positive last Thursday, and then so Brian took a test and he wanted to make sure he was good because we were about to see a bunch of people this weekend. So yeah, it's this still, we're 3 years later and we're still like having these same conversations. It's crazy.
I know. And it's like, I feel like it's a little bit of like this, like I was joking, like wearing this Scarlet C on my chest, but like, I kind of feel like that. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I know it's normal and a lot of people have it, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't like that there's this, I don't know, this taboo and to test or not to test, to tell, to not to tell. Like, I that is like actually really stressful. And then it makes me anxious. Like I was telling you about just big groups again, because after how my body reacted, I thought maybe another time that I got it, I would be less severe reaction because I've had it before. And, not so, not the case. My body was just as disturbed this time as it was the first time I had it. So
crazy.
Anyhow.
Well,
I'm on the mend. I
hope you feel better as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Let's dive into your weekend first, because it sounds like it must have been a pretty eventful with your COVID.
I felt like I woke up on Saturday and I was like, I wonder if this is how Austin felt after the Ironman. My body is so wrecked right now. Yeah. I wonder if this is comparable. No, everything's going to be compared to your recoveries. Okay, so Friday, I honestly thought before I tested positive, because I had taken another test, was also negative. I honestly thought I just had a head cold and I was being a bit of a baby. So I was trying to push through all my plans and commitments. And on Friday, I hosted a Golden Bachelor viewing party, which...
Golden Bachelor, what does that mean?
Have you heard of this?
I've heard of The Bachelor.
Okay, so there's a new season out and the Golden Bachelor is in his 70s. He's 72. His name's Gary. He has hearing aids and he's looking for love, Austin. It is the most heartwarming show I've ever experienced. And basically all of my friends, we grew up not grew up, but in our like adulthood have watched seasons of The Bachelor and haven't really been into it recently, and decided the Golden Bachelor deserves like viewing parties. Like it's such a sweet thing.
Okay, so the Golden Bachelor. So are all the contestants also in their 70s, or how does that work?
Yes. So they're all 60 and above.
Okay. Oh, wow.
I know. It's adorable. And I feel like, so here's what's interesting. I don't know. Have you ever watched Bachelor seasons, Bachelorette before?
Never like consistently. I've dropped in on episodes with friends, but yeah.
Okay. So the whole concept, there's one Bachelor, Bachelorette, and then there's like 20 contestants who are, all there to date him.
Yeah.
which I think is just a hilarious concept. Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know how anybody actually develops a relationship, but some people have met and are still together from that. Anyways, all that to say, these ladies, I mean, it's so heartwarming. Like, I feel like I just was smiling the whole time watching these people. And basically what the producers have said, it was only an hour-long episode, and usually in the Bachelorette series, there's just they really hone in on all the drama amongst all the contestants, and they're like, they're not really going to do that with this season. They're really going to focus on like the connection that people are making, and so I think it's going to be such a sweet show. But the other thing that is amazing is these ladies in their 60s and 70s. I mean, absolute rock stars, looking phenomenal. And here I am getting like in bed at 2 p.m. because I'm sick, thinking, I need to take care of my health. Like, I need to do something, because if I want to be anything like them in the next 20, 30 years, I need to step up my game. I mean, amazing.
60 is the new 40.
Yeah, that's that. No, that actually has been something though, like going on in my brain. I don't know if you do this, but I start like, when I'm sick, my head is like, okay, when you are able, we're going to start eating better. We're going to start exercise. Like you almost, because you feel like I took for granted what it's like to have a healthy body. And now that I'm not, I'm going to do everything possible to, not be back here again.
Yeah, I always say that though, when I am healthy, I'm not going to take it for granted. And then like 2 days later, just the norm again. But
I mean, isn't that life? I feel like I do that all the time. Like I'm like with Chad, I'm like, I'm never gonna, how could I ever be mad at this guy? And then, 2 days later, I'm like, I can't stand you. No.
2 seconds later.
Chad will say he has not been sick since 2019.
Oh my gosh.
He has this stat. Because he got sick before COVID became a thing. He was super, super sick. And we're pretty sure that's what it was. I mean, everybody's like, yeah, I was really sick right before.
Yeah.
I really genuinely believe he had it pretty badly. And then since then has not been sick. He swears on his whole athletic greens that he takes.
Okay.
You've partaked in that as well. He swears that has kept his immunity on par this whole time.
Wow. Okay, well that's good. I should bring it back, the athletic greens.
Yeah.
So back to the dating shows. I feel like I wonder how many successful relationships have actually come out of those dating shows. Well, there's so many.
Well, there's so many. And actually, this was something I wanted to talk to you about today, because that's what I did this weekend. I watched like Bachelor in Paradise, which is like, have you heard of that one where all the Bachelor contestants who didn't make it go to this island? I also am a big fan of Love Island and have caught up on that season. I did a lot of reality TV binging this weekend.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of my content for you today.
That is so funny. When I was a kid, I have a distinct memory of hiding that I was watching these shows. So like my parents wouldn't be home from work yet. I'd get home before them or whatever. And I would like sneak watching these shows. I would watch the like Kid Rock had a dating show.
Yes.
There's Flava Flav had like the Flavor of Love show.
Oh my gosh.
Tila Tequila had a show. Like there were all these like The Next Bus. There's all these different shows that
I love
on like MTV and
MTV,
VH1 and
you
stuff.
were on MTV. Yes.
Yeah.
I love
and
this so much.
I definitely would not have been allowed to watch these, but I remember sneaking watching these shows, and they were raunchy for sure.
Oh yeah, especially those ones. Yeah. My current favorite is Love is Blind. Have you watched any of those series?
Yeah, so the last season was like Seattle based.
Seattle people,
so,
right.
Yeah, so one of the weddings, my friend was actually at the wedding. My friend Mike.
Whose wedding?
The one, I'm totally spacing on the names right now. The guy with the curly hair. No.
Paul and Micah?
Yeah. Yes. So my friend Michael is friends with Paul, so he was at their wedding.
Okay.
And then I've seen Quabi a few times, like around Seattle.
Okay.
And then one of my other friends dated one of the girls, so I don't know if I should share who that one is. But
yeah, sure. We're like, who knows?
Yeah, I definitely was invested in that specific season because it was like Seattle people.
Local. Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the concept. I think it is so clever to talk to somebody like without seeing them. And just, I mean, I do think, I think their physical attraction is important. So I think it's such a fascinating show, but I just love that they start the relationship just on conversation and that type of connection. Okay, so Friday, and then Friday night. So Chad went on a golf trip. So here's the thing. This man has come in like a freaking superhero the last couple of days and taken care of me, taken on all the tasks of running our house and taking care of the kids. He also did get to go on a golf trip this weekend, which well deserved. He has worked so hard lately. So he was gone Thursday, Friday, came back Saturday night. Okay. And so Friday, I knew he was going to be gone. So I'm like, girls, daddy's gone. Let's have a girls' night. Everybody grab a friend. We're going to do a sleepover party. So I hosted a couple kids on Friday night, at which I'm like, I'm so sorry. Hopefully everybody's healthy and well today. And I could just tell physically, I was like, I'm going down fast. Like Friday night, I was like, you kids, like, get yourselves to bed. I'm heading to my room. And then I woke up Saturday and I just felt like I had been hit by a bus. It was awful. So the rest of Saturday and Sunday for me looked like binging all the reality dating shows I could find. But
what are your daughters doing? Are your daughters watching with you, or are they entertaining themselves?
I stayed in my room. So the girls each, like, some, you know, one had a birthday party. I think, I'm trying to remember, maybe Allie didn't do anything. Bless her heart. She's like stuck inside with me. Everybody just did their own. I mean, that's the nice thing about the age of my kids. They can like be self-sufficient. I would, you know, direct them in how to make food or do something or order food for them. But they're pretty self-sufficient, so they can play, they can watch shows, they can go outside and, you know, go swimming or do something while I'm keeping my distance from them. So
it's the worst thing when you feel, it's the worst thing when you feel so horrible and then you also have to like take care of other people or you have the obligations or commitments. Not the kids are obligations, but
I mean, they are.
Sure. Yeah. Let's be honest.
No, I was very fortunate in that, like, majority of Saturday, they kind of fended for themselves, and then Saturday evening, Chad got home, so he was able to kind of pick up the slack and get them dinner and all that stuff. So,
nice.
It was helpful. And then, yesterday I was supposed to do an open house. Chad, again, superhero that he was, went out to Enumclaw where our listing is and hosted the open house for me.
Oh, wow.
And by yesterday evening, I was feeling a bit better, but I can still tell. I feel like I'm like, if I could like put a percentage to it, I feel like I'm at like 85, 90%. Okay. I'm just like, there's still a bit of me that like, after I did a load of laundry, I'm like, oof, I could use a nap, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the little tasks. I went for a walk yesterday and I'm like, that's good. That's good for me. So slowly but surely. But how about you? How was your weekend?
It was a little different. Yeah, a little different than yours.
A little bit.
It was great. Yeah, it was a weekend with like every type of thing that I enjoy. Like it was time with friends. It was, you know, a physically challenging thing. It was relaxing. I had a productive afternoon yesterday. So it was like a really good overall balanced weekend. So
I love it.
I went to Leavenworth for the weekend. We got an Airbnb over there.
So
we
fun.
went over on Friday. It was on the river, and I'll just start by saying I love being on the water. Like being on a river or a lake or whatever, like that is my happy place. Okay. I feel like I have this weird like gravitational pull towards the water. Like I just want to be near water wherever I'm at.
Yeah.
So being able to look out over the river was amazing. So basically we had a big group of us in Leavenworth. I think we had like 25 of us there.
Nice.
And we had one Airbnb that everybody else was in, and then I was like a late joiner, so I got a separate Airbnb. So it was just Brian, Stevie, and I, and then our friends Bernardo and Nika and their dog Kiwi. So
fun. Oh my gosh, Kiwi. That's adorable.
Isn't that a cute name?
Yeah.
Stevie had a friend to play with for the weekend, which was great. The dichotomy between our Airbnb and the other Airbnb was pretty funny because ours was very chill, laid back, clean. The other Airbnb had like all 20 of them in it. And it was this giant house. It was actually funny. It was like a beautiful house from the outside, and it was nice on the inside, but you walk in and it's literally like plywood floors all throughout. And so they definitely designed it to be like a party house. Like that's that was
They're
how
like,
it was.
we know
Yeah.
who's coming here.
There's a giant room with like, 12 bunk beds kind of thing.
Hilarious.
So yeah, that was the party house, and we had the chill house.
Nice.
But yeah, so Friday night we met up with the group. We did like a little pasta dinner at their house. And then Saturday morning, a group of us ran a half marathon.
Okay.
So that was my last big physical challenge of September.
Okay.
Which
Yeah.
is great to get that done. Yeah, half marathon went well. I went into it like everybody was asking me like, what's your goal? Like, are you trying to beat, your time? And I was like,
Sure.
I just want to finish it at this point. Like that is my
love
goal.
that.
I did CrossFit on Wednesday, and it was my first day back in like an actual gym in like 6 months after Ironman training.
Okay.
And my legs were super, super sore.
Oh, interesting.
In the morning on Saturday.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I just want to get through this. But the day of, I was actually feeling pretty good, and I ended up getting a PR. So I beat my previous record by like 2.5 minutes or something. And that was a record I set in 2013. So 2013 is when I ran my first half marathon, like 10 years ago, August of 2013. And then I've never been able to beat that time. So I finally this weekend beat my half marathon PR, which is a great feeling.
That's awesome. I love that you always set the goal of, I just want to finish. Yeah. I want to get through it. I think that's great. And then you always end up accomplishing your second goal as well.
And honestly, I did not even go into it wanting to hit a PR. I just but I halfway through, I was like, wow, I'm actually feeling pretty good. I'm going at a good pace. So then I kind of picked it up a notch, and I was like, okay, I have the ability to do it. So I might as well like actually, try to do it. So yeah, I think I finished in like the top 7% or something, which is like crazy. My friend Brandon, he won the half marathon. He got first place.
Okay, Brandon.
Isn't that crazy?
That's amazing. Out of how many people?
Out of like, I think there were like 700 people or something.
Holy cow. He's famous.
He is crazy. That's the second half marathon he's won. He ran another one in like Arizona or something that he won.
He's a professional. This is what he does.
Yeah, he's the friend that we went to Boston to support him
cool.
earlier this year for the Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
This one, he was trying to qualify for the New York Marathon, which I think is harder to qualify for than the Boston Marathon.
When you get first place, that's got to actually count. That's got to get you in the door.
You would think, right? So when he finished it, because he had the time on his watch or whatever, and when he finished it, he thought that he was 10 seconds too slow to qualify for the New York Marathon.
I'm sorry.
Which, when I heard that, because I finished like 20 minutes after him, and when I heard that, he told me, I'm like, you won this half marathon and you still didn't qualify? That is absolutely insane. But turned out he ended up beating the qualifying time by 1 second.
Oh, so what does it require to make this New York Marathon? Like, this sounds impossible.
Yeah, so the qualifying time, he had to beat 1 hour and 21 minutes for a half marathon, which is like a 6-minute, 10-second mile.
Okay.
I think that could be a little bit off, but I'm pretty sure it's like around just over 6 minutes a mile. Crazy.
I walk a mile in about half an hour with Sheila. So it's like anything less, I'm like, amazing. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. So he literally won it. I had 3 other friends that ran it. 2 of them were like in the first like 30 people to finish it. Also both very fast.
Okay.
And then my other friend Alec, it was his first one. He finished it. So it was a great day for everybody.
You didn't break any rules this time?
No rules that broken this time, I don't think. Thankfully, yes, I was able to listen to music on this one.
Nice. Okay.
So that was Saturday morning, and then we all went back to our Airbnbs, like sat in the hot tub, showered, took a little power nap, and then went back to Leavenworth. Our Airbnb was like 30 minutes from actual Leavenworth, so we were driving back and forth quite a bit. We went back into Leavenworth and all put on our lederhosen, and which was fun.
It was phenomenal. I absolutely loved the pictures you shared. Classic.
Mm-hmm. It was fun too. Like, everybody got into it. I don't know if it's like an age thing, but we're all like in our late 20s and all kind of just like just going with it. I don't know. Just everybody's just having fun, like being themselves, like not worrying about what other people are thinking. Just like, I don't know. The whole dress up thing was super fun.
I was cracking up at your video. You posted one of you guys dancing in your, is it lederhosen? How do you say it?
I think it's a lederhosen.
Yeah, that's how you say it. And I was just cracking up because it was like, you know, the complete opposite of like people going out in the clubs and like dance. Like it just was like such a different environment. And I was joking, like, is this what the kids are up to these days? But at the same time, from like my like early 20s to my early 30s, we would have these parties where it was all theme based, everybody dressed up, and it was so much fun. Like you were saying, when everybody got into it, like we did, you know, like celebrity dress ups, we did Disney dress ups, we did like every party we had for somebody, birthday party or whatever, it was a themed thing, and you came in costume or you didn't come at all. And so I feel like that is actually so relatable. And I wish people still did more of that because that's the best.
I think we should bring it back. I think any parties going forward should have some sort of theme, whether, you know what, we're having a housewarming party this Saturday. Yes. Should we make it themed? Should we theme it somehow? All right. So that was the weekend. We spent, Friday night was the dinner. Saturday was the half marathon and the Oktoberfest stuff. And then Sunday, we kind of packed up in the morning, came back home, kind of just like a get stuff done catch up day. We went to Costco. We unloaded everything. We ended up finally going through our like second bedroom office room, which has kind of just been like a catch all for all of our miscellaneous stuff. We finally got everything organized. And yeah, I've just kind of got ready for the week, which is a great way to spend the Sunday.
Nice. Okay. So question for you.
Yes.
Have you picked an October challenge?
I'm so glad you asked. Yeah, actually. So yeah, I just want to say,
have you announced it? Do you want to wait?
No, this will be actually, you know what? I'll just use this as an opportunity to announce it. I'll just use this podcast clip will be my announcement. So, I'll start out by saying I'm very glad September's over. September was
because you can drink now.
That's it. Yep, that's the only reason.
You're ready to get just trashed.
Yeah. No, but September was honestly probably one of the craziest months of my life between moving, you know, finishing the remodel on my house, the half Ironman, the Tough Mudder, the half marathon, bunch of stuff going on with work. Just felt like a nonstop roller coaster of a month that I'm very happy with how everything went, and I'm happy with my house, and I'm happy with all my races and stuff, but I'm just I'm happy to be through it. So my October challenge is not physically related at all.
Okay.
It's something that I've actually been thinking about for a little bit, and it's related to my phone and my screen time. So I found myself over the last few months just like habitually, constantly checking my phone. And I think this is something that a lot of people probably struggle with, but it's gotten to the point that pretty much any time I have the opportunity to, I'm checking my phone, whether I'm at a stoplight, whether I'm going to the bathroom, whether I'm, you know, even on a walk with Stevie, I'll just be on my phone the whole time rather than enjoying nature and enjoying my surroundings. So I've definitely, it's become a little bit obsessive, and it's like, I need to cut back on my phone time. So I don't have like a specific goal necessarily related to screen time, but really my October challenge is to be just to kind of intentionally limit my screen time and spend less time looking at my phone and more time looking at my surroundings and just being present where I'm at. So yeah, that's basically my challenge for October.
Okay. I feel like I could get on this one with you. Last month I only drank on the weekends.
Yeah.
So I was sober every weekday, which was new for me. No, just kidding. No, I agree. And I found myself I've been sick this weekend, and I was trying to like read a book, and I would read a few pages and then I would look at my phone. I'm like, what am I? And it was almost like I would catch myself like, wait, what am I doing? I was reading a book and now all of a sudden I'm scrolling. It was actually a little alarming. So, and I hate when you get those weekly notifications. It's like your screen time has gone up, or those notifications. I hate that. So, okay, I'm going to take this and think on it. I like it.
I'm going to be, so I'll be watching my screen time more closely. Like I'll be like trying to track it a little bit better.
Okay.
Also just trying to like create little habits or hacks to limit my screen time. So like putting my phone, you know, if I'm like last night, for example, is October 1st. I'm like, all right, I'm going to start this month off. You know, I'm going to start this challenge off right. So around 7:30 p.m. last night, I finished my all my stuff on my phone. I finished the couple work things I needed to do, and pretty much from 7:30 until I went to bed at 9:30, I wasn't looking at my phone. I was just plugged in my room. I was watching the television, so I was looking at a different screen, but still better than looking down at my phone, I think.
Well, and I have such a bad habit of doing both. Like the screen is on in front of us, but we are scrolling. You know, it's like, so if you can do that, I commend you.
Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah. I'll be trying to figure out other ways throughout the month to intentionally limit my screen time. But yeah, just really trying to break the habit of every time I have the opportunity to just like pulling it out. So yeah, that's the challenge.
I'm going to join you on this one. Actually, I really am. I need something. Something's got to change. So yeah.
Last week you mentioned, we were talking about like the change of weather and the change of season, and you mentioned you're going to start implementing some, I think you said, life hacks to avoid seasonal depression.
You're like, and quote, I'm like, how dare you? Calling me out like that. Yeah.
No, I like that. Do you have specific life hacks in mind that you're gonna use?
Well, I mean, I don't know if life hacks is the right term, but I think I really think you said it yourself about like walking every day and how even in the different weather, I definitely want to implement that as much as I can. Last year I started doing vitamin D shots. It's like an injection that people get, and I think that helps. I've heard there's like the happy lamps people can purchase. I haven't bought one yet, but I was considering that. I know myself, and I know that going into this fall, winter, where, you know, I'm still helping a few clients here and there with real estate, but I'm not nearly as busy as I was as the managing broker at Theory. So I know with less on my calendar, the tendency to just kind of seclude myself and hibernate creates really unhealthy habits. I'll be binging every reality show ever made if I let myself. So I think that's my biggest concern, is avoiding those pitfalls that I have a tendency to go into. So I don't know, aside from like walking and putting in, you know, that sounds funny. I was going to say putting in substances. That sounds like, but I was thinking more of like herbal, like by the vitamin D, or my friend gave me a recommendation for this wellness formula that's like an echinacea pill for just avoiding colds in the future. But just trying to be a little bit more mindful of that. And then I think the other part for me is knowing the things that do energize me. And that is often connecting with somebody and being really intentional. So I've had this revelation recently where I have been walking with a friend. She won't mind if I tell her name's Tiffany, and we've been walking really consistently. And what's really nice is the amount of time we've actually been able to spend together has made our conversations so easy. I was a little bit worried because we said to each other, maybe we could walk twice a week once school gets started. And I was thinking, I'm not going to have enough to say to this girl. I'm going to run out of conversation topics, and it's going to get awkward, and I'm nervous. And what's happened is, because we've met so frequently, it's actually become so natural. Like now I know, I'm like, so how was that dinner you made last night? Like, it's like, I know all the ins and outs of her life. And so I'm realizing those types of connections are really, really important.
It's funny you say that about Tiffany, because I felt kind of the same way going into this podcast. Like, I was hoping we'd have enough stuff to talk about, but the first few episodes, I'm like, you know, these first few, we're going to have a lot of things. We're going to talk about why we're starting a podcast. We're going to have all these different topics to discuss. But I'm like, eventually, what if we run out of content and run out of topics? But we're here on episode 8, and I feel like we could talk for hours and hours and hours. So I think
100%.
certain people, I think you can just kind of have that chemistry with and kind of just jive off of. And like you're saying, you know, if the frequency can actually, you know, result in having more things to talk about.
And what's kind of fun is I feel like you and I have had a few weekends where it's like we've also been together, you know, like last week we went to UW. Next weekend, I'm coming to your housewarming. So I feel like it's kind of fun too. We can connect and still, you know, go off of more than just you know, how was your weekend?
Totally.
So all that to say, those are kind of my goals, is to make sure I'm being intentional about connecting with people consistently, getting some walks in, and limiting my screen time is actually going to be a huge benefit as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Brian and I were talking about that last night. We've definitely fallen into a rhythm of every night, watching a show on the couch, and it's great. I love it. It's one of my favorite times of the day, but at the same time, we're trying to figure out some other things we can do in the evening other than watching a show. So we have like an outdoor fire pit at our house we want to start using, eating dinner outside, even if it's cold, just put a jacket on, or playing, games at night, or reading on the couch rather than watching TV. So trying to still watch TV sometimes, but not have it be like our every single night routine. Awesome. Well, this episode has not been without its technical difficulties.
Smoothest. Yeah.
Yes. I'm really hoping that I'm actually able to edit this together without we've had a lot of little interruptions with the internet. So hopefully it's smooth.
Hopefully it's smooth. And what I do want to say, because it's funny, I've talked to a few different people after, we've been doing this for a few weeks now, almost 2 months. And everybody is like, so how much are you guys practicing? How much do you edit? And I think what I've been like, people have been surprised. Like, we don't plan that. Like, we are literally kind of responding to each other off the seat of our pants. Like, you don't know what I'm going to tell you, and vice versa. And the fact that is kind of what we're going off of, and even if this is not the most smooth recording we've ever had, I think it suits us. It keeps us, it keeps on trend with how we've been,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I love it. Just raw, I am gonna edit this one. Most episodes I actually don't even edit that much, because it's just a flowing conversation.
Because we're that good.
Yeah, if we have some ums and likes and pauses, like, who cares? That's just our natural conversation. This one I'm going to go through and edit, because there's been probably 10 plus times that it's completely cut out. So hopefully
that's fair.
Yeah. So this one will be the most edited. Yes. Yes. Exhibit A. Cool. Well, thanks, Jamie. It's always a pleasure.
Austin.
Hope you feel better.
Thank you. Thanks for dealing with my husky voice today.
No, it's great. I love my sick voice, actually. That's my I wish I always had my deep sick voice.
That's hilarious. Okay.
All right. See you soon.
Sounds good.
Feel better.
Okay. Bye.